film opens in 1992, where a young girl named Rebecca Summers sneaks out to her backyard swimming pool at night to retrieve a toy boat for her terminally ill brother, Tommy. As she reaches for the toy, a mysterious, supernatural force in the water suddenly pulls Rebecca under the surface. Rebecca vanishes without a trace and is eventually presumed dead, leaving her family devastated by the unexplained tragedy. Decades later, the Waller family moves into the former Summers home, unaware of its dark past. Ray Waller, a former professional baseball player, has been forced to retire early due to multiple sclerosis. Hoping the pool might aid Ray's therapy, Ray and his wife Eve purchased the house, moving in with their teenage daughter Izzy and young son Elliot. While clearing debris from the long disused pool, Ray cuts his hand on the drain. A pool technician later explains that the pool is self-sustaining, fed by an underground natural spring rather than regular plumbing. This unusual detail hints that there is something special about the water on the property. Ray begins using the pool regularly for physical therapy, and his health shows astonishing improvement. His MS symptoms start to go into remission. However, the pool's benefits come with unsettling occurrences. Eve grows concerned as Ray's behavior changes, and he becomes oddly fixated on the pool. Both children experience frightening encounters. Izzy and Elliot are each attacked or terrified by an unseen presence in the water. Even the family's cat Cider mysteriously goes missing after wandering near the pool. These strange incidents make it clear that a supernatural force resides in the pool, though Ray remains skeptical of anything being wrong. In an effort to settle into the neighborhood, the Wallers host a backyard pool party for friends and neighbors. During the gathering, the family's realtor, Kay, casually mentions a rumor that a young girl named Rebecca Summers once drowned in the pool years ago. This revelation alarms Eve, connecting the current disturbances to the house's past. That same evening, as children play in the pool, a dark cloud-like entity emerges from the pool drain and possesses Ray. Under the entity's control, Ray suddenly grabs a young boy and drags him underwater, nearly causing the child to drown before others intervene. Ray himself falls unconscious during the struggle and has to be resuscitated by Eve. The incident is initially attributed to a seizure or side effect of Ray's illness by outsiders, but Eve now fully suspects that a malevolent supernatural force in the pool influenced Ray's actions. Determined to protect her family, Eve investigates the history of the house and uncovers a pattern of mysterious disappearances on the property. She tracks down Lucy Summers, Rebecca's mother, to learn the truth. When confronted, Lucy reveals the horrifying secret. The water that feeds the pool comes from an ancient pagan healing spring guarded by a malevolent entity. The spring's waters can miraculously cure illness and grant one's deepest desires, but only at a terrible price. The spring demands a life in return for its gifts. Years ago, Lucy's son Tommy was healed by the pool's magic, and Lucy was supernaturally compelled to sacrifice her daughter Rebecca to the entity as payment. Eve is horrified as she realizes that Ray's remarkable recovery means the pool's entity will expect a new sacrifice, likely targeting one of their children. Lucy, seemingly unhinged by the past, insists the water is magic and compares the pool to a wishing well that needs someone to be dragged under in exchange for continued healing. This chilling conversation confirms that the family is in grave danger. Eve rushes home to find the situation at its worst. Ray has succumbed to the entity's control, entering a possessed state under the influence of the pool's dark guardian. In a chaotic confrontation, the entity uses Ray as a puppet to attack his own children. Elliot is lured to the pool by the sound of the missing cat and gets pulled into the water by ghostly hands, while Ray, possessed by the entity, turns on Izzy and tries to drown her as well. Eve dives into the pool to save Elliot, struggling against the invisible force in the dark water. Beneath the surface, the ghost of Rebecca appears and helps guide Eve to find her son and orient her upward, enabling Eve to pull an unconscious Elliot out of the pool to safety. On the deck, Izzy desperately fights off her father's attack. She grabs Ray's old baseball bat and strikes him, breaking the entity's hold momentarily. The combined shock of Izzy's action and the dire state of Elliot finally snap Ray out of the possession, and he regains control of himself. Realizing that Elliot isn't breathing, the family panics as the entity's presence lurks, still hungry for a life. Ray makes the ultimate sacrifice to save his children. He willingly returns to the cursed pool and submerges himself completely. The malevolent force engulfs Ray, and he vanishes into a dark cloud beneath the water as the entity claims him in exchange for sparing the others. In that moment, the evil presence dissipates. The guardian of the spring is satisfied, and Elliot miraculously revives on the poolside, alive and safe. In the aftermath, Eve and her children are devastated by Ray's loss but determined to prevent the cycle of horror from continuing. They decide not to flee the home, but instead take responsibility for ending the threat. The family makes arrangements to fill in the swimming pool with dirt, permanently sealing off the ancient spring. By burying the pool, they ensure that no one else will fall victim to the malevolent entity lurking beneath the surface. The film ends with Eve, Izzy, and Elliot saying a somber farewell to the pool as it is destroyed, knowing that Ray's selfless act saved them and put an end to the nightmare.